Is Hollywood changing? And is that change a good thing for projects like Stargate that we are so desperately hoping to see on our screens again? Welcome to Sidetrack, your daily dose of TV, movie, news and rumours. I've been talking about Stargate Return now for 3 years, and we know it's come close a couple of times, but we now know that Amazon are in no rush to bring this project back. They're in no rush really to bring anything back, but we know that they are waiting to increase their studio space. We know they're waiting for lots of financial things. We know that actually the project came pretty close to becoming a movie about 1.5 years ago, but the strikes kind of scuppered that. But one of the things and one of the biggest comments I get all the time when I talk about Stargate's return is the woke agenda. Now, you can have a look back at previous videos. I've done a few on Stargate. And if you go through, it's probably about 1 in 5 comments are, it'll be rubbish, it'll be woke, go broke. That is a common thread, a common theme for a lot of the comments. And there are people that shout woke that are just sexist, racist bigots. They just are. But there are people that shout woke as well that actually have thought this through. They have seen that there's a problem in Hollywood. There's a problem with an agenda. There's a problem with a political influence on a lot of what's being made. Yes, I would actually argue that a lot of this is quite positive. Yes, I think gender affirming stuff, supporting gay rights or transgender rights and blah, blah, blah is important. But it shouldn't overtake the story. When it does, it's not woke agenda, it's propaganda. And that is a problem that I don't think should be here in our entertainment industry. Now, as you know, if you're a regular Sidetracker, I talk about this quite a lot because I hate the word woke, I hate it. I actually think it's really disrespectful because of where the word actually comes from. It means being awake to sort of social injustice. And it's been sort of like corrupted by Fox News and things. But it is the word that's used to describe this phenomenon in Hollywood now, and I'm afraid we might be a little bit stuck with it. But there is a problem. Now, from a sci-fi fan, I see this really quite a lot in the stuff that we watch. It has seriously affected Star Trek, Star Wars, etc. And sometimes it sticks out like a sore thumb when an agenda is being pushed on us. Now, as I said, I actually think our media should have social commentary. It should be somewhere that we learn from. It is a massive influence on society and our culture. So it should be responsible. But it should also tell good stories and not responsible to a point of, shoving it in your face and making us all want to throw up. The recent political change though in the United States, is that going to have an impact on Hollywood? Well, if anything, it might have a negative impact on Hollywood because Hollywood's very much voting for Harris, not Trump. That was very clear in 90% of the celebrities and things that were supporting Harris rather than Trump. I actually think there is a possibility that there might actually be a knee-jerk reaction that will push back against a lot of the things that Trump stands for. That might mean that we see some projects that are even more woke than what we've become used to. But actually, I think over the last 5 or 6 years, we have started to see the ship turn. That a lot of studios have realised that if they push these agendas too hard, it really has a negative impact on their bottom line. And that's, I don't care what people say, that studio executives only care about their agenda and they only care about pushing these woke ideologies and blah, blah, blah. They don't. It's BS. They care about money. And that's all studio executives care about. They care about keeping the job and they care about making money. Disney, they care about making money, even though they're more to blame for a lot of this agenda stuff than other studios, I'd argue. So, it is very clear that a lot of these projects that people then shout woke at have lost a lot of money for studios and they don't like it. I'm going to talk about Amazon now because that is the studio that want to make Stargate, and they're the studio that we desperately want them to make Stargate. I would argue that in the past, they've made stuff that is not particularly politically correct. You know, their most popular TV show right now is Clarkson's Farm, pretty much. It is not exactly always politically correct, and Clarkson isn't. They were very quick to pick up Top Gear when it ended and create the Grand Tour, knowing that that again would not always be politically correct. I don't think they've ever tried to force any agenda on Clarkson, and I know actually from interviews he's always been more than grateful to Amazon, saying that they've just let us get on with what we do best. I look at projects like The Boys, again, even though there is an agenda, there is an underlying sort of thing coming from the writers that they're trying to say. I've always been told Amazon let them get on with it. Now, I know that's a Sony production as well, but I've always been told Amazon let them get on with it. I've always been told that actually Amazon are a business primarily, and that their executives or whatever are more focused on the bottom line than maybe other studios. Other studios, they do consider the art and things, they do like to win awards and stuff. Netflix are obsessed with winning awards. Amazon aren't quite so much. They're run very much as a business. They've come from, you know, their business side of things, and the people that they've then moved into the studio stuff have a similar sort of mindset. So from that point of view, they just want to make money. And they know a project like Stargate can. But I've always been told that they would not do it unless it was right. They identified that Stargate would potentially cause a little bit of an uproar when it was announced. That there is a lot of fans. It is the sleeping giant of sci-fi. And that will cause a lot of attention. They look at what they did with Rings of Power for Lord of the Rings. I've heard it called the Rings of Power problem several times, in that social media was very negative towards the Rings of Power months before it ever came out. And that created a lot of negativity around the show. They desperately don't want to see that again. And they know that the main thing that will be shouted at a show like this, because it will get a lot of attention, is that it's woke. Warner Brothers are going to have this problem, I'm sorry they are, with the Harry Potter TV series that they're redeveloping, if they make some of the decisions it looks like they're making. They, when they did the casting call, talked about a diverse cast. Apparently this very annoyed the Harry Potter writer in J.K. Rowling, obviously, and I forgot her name then for a second, did you notice? And apparently she's even considered legal action because of it. If they come out with gender changing characters that are very well established in the books, or changing race of characters that are very well established in the books, etc., they're going to create significant online negativity before the project is ever seen on screens, and that massively affects the bottom line and viewing figures, like it did for the Rings of Power project. Amazon have always said they cannot repeat that mistake. It's one of the reasons why Stargate has been delayed, because they've never been able to quite find the solution for the reboot problem. They want a continuation, they want it to make sense, but they want it also to be popular and to be accepted by us Gators, the original fans. That's not as easy as some people would say it is. So, will Amazon give us a Stargate show that we recognise as Stargate? Will they ignore the woke agenda? I have always said they will. I've always said that the show might still be rubbish, but it won't be rubbish because Amazon will force an agenda on the creators. They need to select the correct people to make this show. And if they can, we'll get something that we can love. I would always argue, just bring in Brad Wright and get it done, for the love of God. But if they're not going to do that, they need to bring in somebody that can actually have a vision for this show. I think Amazon are pretty much the only studio, maybe Apple, that could actually do it. So just thank God it was Amazon that bought MGM and not Disney. But guys, get into the comments and tell me what you think. Is there a shift in Hollywood? Is it moving away from this woke agenda because it's hurting their bottom line? She-Hulk, anybody? Or do you think actually, no, there will probably be a knee-jerk reaction against Trump getting into power, and maybe we might even see even more? Get into the comments and tell me what you think. As always, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where this video and others premiere first. Go check it out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.